Morning. Last time I was very disappointed that you had to leave, and I hate wasting 3 minutes to go backwards, but I think what I had to say last town board meeting was very important. There's a term that you used once that I heard you say that has really stuck in my mind. You said broad paintbrush, a broad paintbrush. That really was appealing to me because I'm an artist. I've been an artist most of my life until I started doing cat rescue. And I think in this case, the broad paintbrush is no longer going to apply. It's time to get into the details of the animal shelter and to really know what's going on. I get the feeling you really don't want to know what's going on, but I think that you have to know what's going on in order for this to be fixed. It's not going to just go away, and you certainly try to whitewash the canvas, and that has not worked either. It's time to get into the detail. You were the inspiration for the Hope for Hempstead Shelter's new campaign of getting back to the community, getting into the public, and letting them know we're still here. We might not be inside the shelter, and the shelter employees might not be giving out our phone numbers anymore, but now we want them to know how they can reach us, because it's very important that through us, we will bring you the message of the community. I brought for you a folder that I brought for you last town board meeting that somehow was whisked away and probably ended up in the paper shredder as all the others, but I took the time to make copies of some letters that I feel you should look at. I could just tell by the way you're sitting there ignoring me that do you have any intentions of reading these letters from the public, from the community? They were addressed to you, and we know now that you never receive them because you don't read your emails, you don't get your phone calls, and you don't get your letters.
Well, then why ask me?
Well, if I hand you a folder direct, are you going to, do you care at all?
Mr. Pena, if you would like to hand documents.
Well, because I don't feel comfortable that you're really going to read it, I just want to give you a little overview of what's in this folder. One complaint dating back to 2005, talking about all the negligence, trying to spell out to you what needs to be done at the animal shelter as far as programs and policies, and to start lowering the kill rate. That goes back to 2005. Another one is a heart-wrenching experience that a rescue individual had when they were sent into the shelter to rescue a few kittens. She describes what her experience was and how the staff treated her and the mentality of what was going on. That's 2009. 6 months before we were banned, I have a 5-page letter to the entire board, the Senator Lucille, the district attorney, talking about the negligence and the abuse of the shelter. 2011, talking about the TNR program and how when the person called, how she was appalled that she had to take a class and do the trapping herself, and they would not get there till they won't get there till July, which is the same exact thing that's going on now with your TNR program. Another resident talking about the horrible treatment that she just received when she went into the shelter to adopt a cat. I really hope you read that. She took the time, she wrote it to you. I'm sure you haven't seen it. Another one from a rescue organization who was actually the 4th person who was banned along with us that nobody ever mentions. This is your shelter contacting her, begging the organization to come back, but not allowing her in. She's the president of the organization. She wrote this letter to you. And the last, which I think is kind of the best that I just got this week, is from a resident writing to you and forwarding to me that she doesn't understand how a full-time vet can be doing appointments in his own business all afternoon. She has a couple of friends who use him as a vet, and he's still taking house calls at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. She's asking, how can he be the full-time vet at the shelter, working operational hours, if he's still doing his business in the afternoon? I really hope you take the time, and I promise you that I will gather each month another file, because it's important for you to read, because the paintbrush stroke can no longer go on. You need to know the details.